I have done that, and you now know that I'm recording. It's official. Has there been an audience difference of audio versus video at this point? Have you looked at any statistical data regarding this?
You know I don't do that, mate.
Oh. All right.
You know, I just go by feel. You know how it is.
I feel like the feedback's been
Yeah,
good.
it's been largely positive.
Yeah.
Yep. About the video.
Yes,
you mean?
yes.
Yep.
Didn't get any negative feedback last week about audio quality or video quality, and I feel we're at a point now where
Mate,
we could continue with this for a little while.
Absolutely.
I
Quality's
feel okay with it.
always been good.
I don't see any major dips in audio numbers, so that means incremental audience online. I like it on the video.
Okay. I think people are watching the video that maybe would have never heard the podcast before.
Oh, that's
And
the
they
goal,
think,
right?
well, who are these two clowns? Let's look at
exactly.
this, and then
Clowns. Clown one.
There's like a fascination factor.
Hang on, mate. Clown one.
Clown two.
Okay, just wanted to get that on the record. I think it might have been Rigby, or a couple of people messaged me and said, I love the option. Like,
Yes.
if it drops when I'm at home, then like actually last week, because remember last week we put it out a bit earlier in the day. So some people were kind of like, oh, cool, it's a good time of day, I'll watch it. Again, I go all nerdy and start thinking about, how it might work. And I wonder if you drop the video one earlier, does it affect the audio? Like, because there's nothing really stopping us dropping the video one on like a Thursday morning instead of Thursday night.
Yeah.
But, I feel like that's...
Because we've got all the other shows that are dropping as well.
At
remember?
night.
So we've got...
Well, that's why the audio one will always come at night, because all the other ones come at night
Yes.
except for movies, which is in the morning on a Friday.
Yeah. This is in the
Saturday.
two blokes
It's
feed.
a Saturday morning on the
of
Two
course.
Blokes feed.
Yeah. If you want to get the movie early,
Subscribe to
best movies you've never seen. It's Friday at about
Friday
11.
morning, 11:30, something like that.
Yeah, or 11:30. You have a silly odd number time, eh? 11:37. Is that what you do? Or? Whereas me, I'm just an even number guy.
So is Tech Guide always at like 7:30?
No, Tech Guide is when I finish recording it.
in the Two Blokes
No,
podcast.
7:05 it is.
7:05?
Yeah, 05, yeah.
See, that's...
Although that's not even an even number, but even numbers I'm literally even Steven, because I like having the volume at an even number.
Yeah.
Bit OCD like that.
Massive
But
OCD.
is that? Do you not do that?
Nope.
I know you put it. You're rando, eh? Random.
You know what?
You're rando Trev.
I just deleted a lot of my... No, I had like 3 pages of alarms, but that's my alarms right now.
3:24 a.m., 3:27. So you snooze it for 3 minutes.
No, I always set 2. In the morning, I always have 2 alarms.
Why don't you just get your ass up out of bed, mate?
I don't trust.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, so you reckon the first alarm might not work?
What if I sleep through
So
it?
you
What
have
if something
5
happens?
others?
I don't know. Yeah.
And you reckon I'm OCD?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how you, right? Let me, a little bit of inside baseball here, right? We do our movie podcast, and that involves a lot of audio. And I normally have the audio sorted on the Roadcaster, that's what we record from.
Yes.
And I bring my Roadcaster.
Yep.
Last night, I thought I'm going to try it. We're going to I put in the Dropbox so Trevor can actually download all the audio into his Roadcaster. And I was still going to bring my Roadcaster just in case, but I didn't.
Because I give you a face palm when you said that to me. I'm like, mate, what are we doing?
I put all the audio on my laptop just in case we had to maybe do it again, but it worked.
Well, let's be real.
So how's it? This my point is that you are really cautious in some areas and really who cares in others, right? And I'm the same. I'm in other areas like the alarm. I'd set 1, mate. 1 alarm. You said 8. I set 1. With the Roadcaster, you were sort of the hand on the head thinking, it's all good.
And like I'm convincing, I'm
funny.
like, I've loaded it, it's fine, mate. And you've gone, I'm still going to bring the audio. I'm like, okay, fine.
What was my response? I think it's better to need it and not have it than have it and not need it.
True. But I think the thing is, outside of family, any issues there or whatever, my biggest fear in life is sleeping through a Today Show segment.
Whoa.
It's never happened.
Right.
And
You mean actually on the set you fall asleep? Or
that's happened.
Has it happened? So imagine that. Trevor, what do you got to say? And you're... Imagine that. That'd make a few.
There was a time
on Twitter and
when
YouTube.
During COVID, when I was first using the Dejero, the iPhone to broadcast from here.
Yep.
I was using the rear camera, so I couldn't see myself, right? And so I was trying to find a way to see the shot. Right, so I actually used these cameras. I'd have these cameras and this screen so I could see.
Oh, so you're filming the screen.
I was filming the back.
Really?
Right, it was crazy. And then I went, what I did was I AirPlayed. I shared the screen to an AirPlay, so I didn't have to set up a camera and everything. It was good.
Yep.
And so I'm doing that, and I'm on air and they go, "G'day, Trev," and I go, "G'day," and it just froze.
No way.
And that's the worst on air moment for me, is just a freeze.
And it normally freezes ugly too, eh?
Yeah, it was
ugly.
It was bad, and I reset it and got back on, and we laughed about it, but haven't fallen asleep. But yes, I wouldn't want to sleep.
You mean
like
if
I'm
they call
early.
You?
If I'm on air at 8:50 and it's a studio thing, I'll be there at least 7:50, if not 7:30.
So an hour before.
Easy. Whereas most people turn up 10, 15 minutes before.
Well, it's good when it's just a talker. Like yesterday, you were talking about the mic. What we're about to talk about the mic. You were there at the desk, so you turn up.
Annoyingly, I got there 2 hours early.
Why?
Well, because it was a Tuesday, inside baseball again. Sorry, but I'm sitting
radio,
here at 5 a.m. They go, "Can we do this thing?" And I'm like, man, I only have one real gap in my radio schedule, which is basically 6:30 till 7. So I thought, you know what I'll do, or 6 till 6:30 or 6:40 till 7. I thought I'll go 6 till 6:30.
So this is you talking to the Today Show?
Yeah, I just said I'll be there, no dramas. Went home, got changed, and then got in the car at 6 o'clock. So I was there at 6:30, 6:45.
And so you're doing your radio segments.
And so then I just sat in the little booth outside the kitchen, just doing all my radio spots, and then just went and did the show. No dramas
I find now my radios every day normally start at 7:30. So I'm finding now that I set myself on an early alarm to get my training out of the way before the radio starts. So it gives me an excuse to get up early, get it done. Yeah, that's helped.
Because if you start working, do you struggle to go and train, for example?
Yeah, exactly. I'd get busy, and then so the afternoon will drag on. I'm thinking I'm too busy.
Work becomes a reason not to.
Yeah. So I do it for, like, I set my alarm for 5:45 every day now.
Okay.
So that it's done by 7:15, and then I'm ready for the radio and whatever else I got to do.
All right, an executive decision needs to be made, and we do these things with our audience.
Executive decision.
So with regards to the way I post the video and the private video, right?
Yep.
So again, the audio feed for the private drops on a Friday night.
Yep.
And what I've been doing is putting the private feed up as an unlisted video, so you can't search for the private feed.
You include it in the YouTube
but
notes.
I've included in the YouTube notes of this video. So if you're watching this video on Thursday or Friday during the day, the link's not there.
Okay.
But
so you're not going to give it them early? Why don't you give them early access on YouTube?
So this is my question: is it okay if I just put it up there then? Because it's an extra thing I've got to remember to do on a Friday.
Executive decision? Yes.
Let's go.
Do it. Well, I think, look, bonus, right? Bonus, if you're watching the video, you get the private a day early.
Oh, yeah.
Bonus. That could even drag our audio private listeners to come over to get it a day early.
Could. So, there you go.
Hello,
ladies and gentlemen.
decision
the private
made
feed
live.
will be available
live.
Here's what you could do. You could watch the private feed on Thursday nights and just listen to the audio feed when you normally do on a Friday morning or something. This could be wild.
So many choices.
Anyway, it's been a great AGM. This has been the annual general meeting.
That's as much planning as we've done for this show for quite some time.
I think long-term listeners, though, pretty much all decisions are made during the show.
Decisions are made in the room.
How did we come up with the best movies you've never seen and decide a sponsor?
Right here. Yeah. On air. Live on air. Yeah. Can I retell that story? We said it. Remember we appeared on
What I want to do is find the episode.
Today Extra. Yeah. And the line that got me that said we need to do a podcast is we was talking about your Auntie Shell, God love her, loves the sound of music, and you put it on all the time. And you said, I've never seen it. I went, what? And you said, all I know is there are nuns and Nazis in it. I went, we need to have a podcast. And in that little 5-minute little period of that podcast, we planned it all out. We said, right, I know exactly who's going to sponsor it, do it. Boom. And we even knew the name of it. Yeah, that's what it's going to be called. We've got to find that episode.
We do.
Find it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We've got to find that episode because it has created a monster of its own.
Yes, and this week, La Bamba.
La Bamba.
Don't sing.
I do. If you want to see it, ask me. I've got video of me singing La Bamba right here in this chair.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that didn't get published on YouTube because of copyright strikes.
Solid copyright hits on this one.
All the effort filming last week's movie show.
The audio. We use the audio. But just so I think we're using it in the podcast it's like in a review capacity, so that's okay to use the material.
Well, I don't have a lawyer, so I don't know.
Understand. So just talk to our lawyers if there's a problem. Okay.
If you need anything, send a letter to our lawyers. They are what are our lawyers' names?
Try hard. Hugh, go first. And chuck my guts up.
Try hard and go away.
Yeah.
All right.
They're our lawyers.
Well, let's get on with what we're here for.
Welcome to Two Blokes Talking Tech
Not a bad price.
with Trevor Long from EFTM.com
Really handy device.
and Stephen Fennick from TechGuide.com.au.
Do I say not a bad price? Is that you, who says not a bad price? That's you, isn't it?
You taking the mickey?
I say handy device, so that's me. Because we sound the same. It's you, saying not
I'd have to play it again.
Not a bad price. I think that's you. I'm pretty sure I'm the handy device guy. Yeah. I'm handy device. That's a handy device because, every time I say it on my own podcast or here, I think back to my thing, that's what I said in the intro.
I think it's not a bad price. So I think you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, episode 606 of Two Blokes Talking Tech. Thanks to the great people at Arlo and Netgear. For home security, Arlo's got you covered. For Wi-Fi in your home or small business, Netgear's got you covered. We'll tell you more about them shortly. Stephen, we awoke a couple of days ago to news from the Prime Minister in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
He's over
I
there.
actually had this news. I was on John Stanley's show, 2GB, Monday night.
Right.
They had they have the next morning's front pages.
Yep.
And this was on the Herald front page. The $5 billion cyber shield was the
Right.
story. And John and I actually discussed it briefly for the little information we had. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the announcement and then kind of unpack it a bit. The announcement is very much Microsoft is investing $5 billion in Australia as a part of a cyber shield with the Australian government, the Defence Signals Directorate. Right, that's that's
kind of the lead. That's the
it's the
headline.
Cyber Defence Department, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
they're the people that are literally trying to block hackers and state-based
China,
actors.
Russia, Ukraine, all these people. Yeah.
And think of it like, the modern day spies, the modern day espionage, the modern day warfare is in part going to be played out online. So we need this cyber defense. So I start looking at it going, okay, what is this thing? What is it overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you read into the detail, here's how I see this. I'm just going to cut straight to the chase.
Yeah.
This is an amazing way of getting the Prime Minister to announce something for Microsoft.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Microsoft is investing legitimately. And I'll preface all this with this is all good, win, win, win. There's nothing bad about this. It's just brilliant staging, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft is investing $5 billion in Australia, but they're not investing $5 billion in the Defence Signals Directorate. They're not building a cyber shield. Yeah. They're building cloud data centres. They're investing in training and education through TAFE, through data centre training and all this kind of stuff, which is awesome. But in Microsoft's own press release, right, they talk about data center and the growth of that space. And I'll quote this here. This will enable the company. So they're spending $5 billion to build data centers. This will enable the company to meet the growing demand for cloud computing services, which are expected to almost double from $12.2 billion last year to $22 billion in a couple of years from now, according to their own white paper. So they're saying, hang on, the cloud business in Australia, that's in Australia, is going to be worth $22 billion. Let's build more data centers.
And we're gonna run it.
So that we can have a good slice of that pie. Because there's only real three big players, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft in the big cloud.
Before we hit record, I said it looks like it's and look, they're spending $5 billion, investing $5 billion.
Massive.
But it's Microsoft really feathering their own nest was the word I use, the phrase I use, because it not only involves them and look. The big picture is, look at all the jobs we're going to create, the digital economy. It's great, and that's probably what's going to happen. But Microsoft's going to be clipping the ticket here as well, and not to mention all the AI infrastructure, all the AI opportunities that are going to present themselves. And guess which AI is going to be? Microsoft are going to have their open AI, which they've funded for they got $10 billion. They got more invested in AI than they have in this initiative.
Yeah.
It was $10 billion they put into open AI. So here it is. Here's our money to invest, but take our product as well. So
now,
and you know what? Good on them.
Absolutely.
It's a win for them.
Now, let's be real, and I don't know any of what I'm about to kind of speculate on. This is all pure speculation. But the Defence Signals Directorate, they don't have a data centre. They have computers, they have smart people. They would have had, I'm guessing, for the last 5 years, a contract with someone for their, cloud services like email and all that kind of stuff. They would have also had a contract with someone for, cloud computing. So cloud computing is the idea of we've got this data we need to crunch, send it off to the cloud where there's 100 computers who can crunch it really fast. So they've probably had that contract. And I'm guessing it's been with Microsoft for a while, right?
Yeah.
And so they've essentially signed up for another deal and they've gone, you know what, we're going to do this again. And then Microsoft said, you know what, just so you know, we're actually going to build more data centers. We're going to do this. And at some point, somewhere along the way, someone's gone, you know what, let's make this an announcement.
Why do we do this? Yeah.
Yeah, because the Cyber Shield, what are they? I don't have the name of it. Oh, MACS.
Microsoft.
Australian Signals Directorate Cyber Shield. The MACS.
It's called MAX. Funny enough, the acronym.
I've related that to AUKUS. Now, Australians will know AUKUS is Australia, UK, US, and that's just an agreement to build and work with submarines, nuclear submarines, right? MAX is an agreement for the ASD, the Signals Directorate, and Microsoft to work together to ensure that the ASD has the right amount of cloud computing, the right amount of power, and can utilize and piggyback on AI to do the work they want to do, right? So it's just a commitment to a great use of cloud. And I've got no doubt that, see, the government doesn't just go, oh, cool, let's use AI for our cyber attack research, right? So they don't just go to ChatGPT because that's sending sensitive data offshore. So one of the requirements of the ASD having any new contract would have been that it has to be onshore data centers. So Microsoft has gone, guess what? As a part of our $5 billion, that's going to include not just cloud infrastructure, not just data centers, but AI data centers. You can use those.
Yeah. But the way it was sold to them, though, it's all about building the digital economy. So they ticked all the right boxes to get Anthony Albanese and Kevin Rudd, who he's the US
Australian ambassador to America. Yeah.
So they were talking about how with the generative AI can add as much as $115 billion a year to the Australian economy by the end of the decade.
Yeah.
So they're quoting all these numbers and all the opportunities, and Anthony Albanese is thinking, well, okay, that's not a bad thing. Or creating more jobs, yes. Generating a better economy, yes. So they've sung the right song to get him interested and sealed the deal. And so there was the Australian head of Microsoft there as well, who was, is it Steve Worrell? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Take your word for it.
Managing Director of Microsoft Australia New Zealand. Then there was also the Brad Smith was the Microsoft Vice Chair and President. So he's a head honcho at Microsoft. And Albo was that's the photo they had at the White House. Because
one of the commitments, again, I'll read from their press release. As a part of today's announcement, Microsoft has committed to support an additional 300,000 Australians as a part of its global skills program. So it's not 300,000 people globally being skilled. It's 300,000 Australians
which is
being
massive.
skilled. They're going to build a data centre academy next year in partnership with TAFE New South Wales. So while I'm trying to unpack what's really behind the announcement, I'm just saying...
Oh, there's a lot of positive stuff in it, for sure.
It's massive wins. So let's talk about what is a cyber shield.
Yeah.
Because in reality, again, it's just saying that the computing power, the ability for the ASD, the Signals Directorate, to build the systems they need to detect and deter are going to be enabled by this AI and cloud stuff.
That's what I was going to say. AI, I reckon, is going to play a massive part in how we deal with these sort of things. And Microsoft, a big player in the AI space. We remember they've announced Copilot for Windows. Like AI is going to be
huge.
Microsoft's their go-to technology right now. And so that'll obviously play a massive part in that. But Microsoft, in terms of when I first heard this, I'm thinking, really, Microsoft running a cyber shield? Are you expected like a Trend Micro or a Norton or some company that's got a legacy in this space that have got absolute data centers and 0 day? They know exactly when all the threats are, where they're coming from and what they are. So I don't know how that's going to be used here. Whether that might be a part of the contract as they pull in these other people. But
I think so. That's I haven't actually heard negativity, but I did a couple of things on the ABC, and they're pretty good at unpacking some of the issues. By the way, the ABC were quite happy to say Microsoft all the way through this, and they'd apologise for it, saying, "I'm sorry to mention brands." Seriously, why does the ABC?
How
do
can
that?
you not though? Yeah,
so
I've
annoying.
heard that too. Yeah.
Anyway, they were like, people might be concerned about Microsoft being directly involved with our Signals Directorate, our Defence Department. I'm just calling it Cyber Defence Department, right?
Yep.
Listen, Microsoft are not embedding people at the ASD. No. But here's what I imagine. And I imagine a big red phone at the ASD and at Microsoft, so that when stuff's going down, they can go, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? You know, and it's basically a cooperation and collaboration to make sure that they're both aware of what's going on in Australia and they can both jump in. But in reality, like effect on real people, It's not going to stop scam calls.
No.
It's not going to stop scam texts. This is about Russia not hacking into the Australian power grid. This is about China.
This is about China not shutting down our electricity system.
All that kind of stuff.
It's that global level thing where, and how often has it been said that if there's a major conflict between two nations, that's where it's probably going to take place. You cripple someone's traffic system or a country's electricity grid, and that could be as crippling as a bomb in the middle of town.
And I also imagine, let's just reflect on 12 months ago, and you've got Optus and Medibank, all these things going on.
Yeah.
And you remember one of the Optus and Medibank kind of defences to not answering too many questions was, it's with the government, it's with the Australian Signals Directorate, it's being handled in a legal way, right?
Yeah.
Which is fair. I imagine there'll also be a very reactive part of this as well that allows, someone to pick up the phone to the Minister, Claire O'Neill, and say, we've had a massive cyber attack and it's happening now.
Yeah.
And that basically, like a SWAT team from the Signals Directorate of Microsoft will be able to, launch themselves online to
so
clamp
you
down
reckon
and work out what
that's
happens.
how the shield's going to operate? So if there's an event of an emergency, it's like if there's a fire, you ring the fire brigade.
I don't want to foreshadow, but imagine a big cyber attack, like a hack, like the Optus or Medibank in the next 6 months or 12 months or 2 years. I can imagine Albo standing there with Claire O'Neill going, well, what's brilliant is that the managing director of that company was able to come to us and we're able to utilise the cyber shield to help them. And they're going to use this word.
Yeah, I hope so.
To make it sound like, but the problem is it's been hyped up so much that I think some people think we're just not going to get attacked. So that's my thing. Even on 9 News this week on TV, I was like, I'm happy to talk about it as long as you let me at the end talk about how you've still got to not take phone calls from unknown numbers, don't hand over information, don't click links. You've still got to have internet security software on your computer. Because if you think that Microsoft investing $5 billion in Australia and the government, having a cyber shield is going to stop you from getting hacked or your business from getting hacked, you're mad.
Not at all. But do you reckon $5 billion? I thought they got off light. That's actually not a bad deal. $5 billion.
Well, I mean, they're only building, is it 9 more cloud data centres?
There's 20. They're going to go to 29.
Yeah, so they're building 9 more right now.
What about upskilling people and all those other courses they're going to deploy and all that?
Mate, $1 billion is enough to run 300,000 people through a thing, isn't it? And
I don't know.
$4 billion is probably enough to build a few data centres. Because remember, you build a 6-story building with apartments and everything, you've got to fit it out with washing machines. You build a data centre, it's a concrete shell. They often make them look fancy from the outside, but inside, the most expensive bits are the racks, the computers, and the fire retardant equipment, and the air conditioning. So I don't know what a data center costs, but I imagine they're going to happily build enough of them this money.
My point is though, $5 billion. This is an investment. Don't forget.
Oh,
so they're going to make a ton of money off this.
If their numbers,
and good on them, smart move for them to do this.
So there's an extra $10 billion in the industry in the marketplace in just 4 years. They only need to get 50% of that new business to break even.
Yeah, it's paid itself off already.
Pretty awesome.
There you go.
But win for the government, win for Microsoft, win for Australia. Yeah. And my only thing is we've just got to remember it's not going to stop you from getting hacked.
This isn't the silver bullet by any means.
No.
This is only, I think, from at a national level, like we're like foreign countries, and at a national level, the people who are sending you scam text messages and phone calls, they're still going to get through, unfortunately.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Anyway, it's a fascinating story. It's a great one to unpack. Full details at techguide.com.au and everywhere else on the internet, because it was to their credit, it was a massive
big story. Absolutely.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Two Blokes Talking Tech are supported by our great mates at Arlo. Arlo, right here, Arlo. And they have just released their new essential second-gen products. And what we're going to talk about today is their indoor camera. The essential indoor is...
Hang on.
Yeah, that's the shield. It's its own little cyber shield.
It's my privacy shield.
It's a privacy shield.
Hang on. I'm just going to unlock the app.
There you go. See, that Trevor has very well demonstrated the privacy shield. And the reason for that, I think, and it's valid too, because people think they may be a little uncomfortable knowing there's a camera inside.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I don't want there to be a camera inside.
And this thing's so small. It's about this big. Again, we forget we're doing video. Should have brought one in. Anyway, imagine you've got a bookshelf in your lounge room or in that entry foyer or somewhere like that. Yeah. And I imagine like in your front room, there's a kind of sunroom there. It's the casual, the formal lounge.
The formal lounge room.
I imagine on a shelf there's the camera, and so it doesn't look obtrusive. It's not an ugly thing.
Yep.
But, when you're sitting there chatting with your formal lounge friends, you don't want them to think, hang on, mate, why are you filming us? So if they do say, is that a camera?
Because we're
You
going to
go,
put it on YouTube. What do you reckon?
you go, yeah, but the little white flap means the camera can't see us. It's privacy shield.
And to make that is if they do mention, I say, well, mate, see that little white shield on the lens. That's the privacy shield. No recording.
And then you
happening.
pull out the app and you tap the button and you let them see that it opens and shuts. Very good.
So I think, it's good for. And there are times you want to have an indoor camera.
Yeah.
I reckon a lot of people are going to use this to check in on their pets. Have an indoor camera. Some people they leave their pets in the house, the apartment.
Yep.
They're going to go in and check on it because you can talk to people. Remember through it, you can hear, hey,
absolutely.
how are you, buddy?
I'll tell you where we use ours. We're a 2-story house and upstairs just bedrooms, but there's a big long hallway. And I've always had an Arlo camera at the end of the hallway so that, overnight, when we're not home, whatever, right, I know what's going on. But I've always felt uncomfortable with it because it's like the kids shouldn't feel uncomfortable walking down to the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So now that camera, if we're at home, privacy shield's on. But when we're away and the system is armed, it's open. So if you get through the 6 cameras at the front door, the 1 camera inside the front door, and then you go upstairs, man, we have got you on camera.
Yeah, enough video to make a 3-hour film of you. Yeah. So, that's part of the exciting new Essentials lineup. There's also a new Essential outdoor camera and a new video doorbell. But if you want to check them all out, arlo.com.
Everything about tech you never wanted to know. This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Well, didn't we get a nice little surprise today when this little email came up and I'm thinking, an Apple event. And my heart skipped a beat. I'm thinking, are we travelling again? And I was very sorry to hear that. No, it's a virtual event, no in-person event. This is a streaming event which will take place the day before Halloween. That's why it's called Scary Fast was the words they used, right? Did you get that straight away?
No, I didn't.
Halloween? Okay. Here for you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
So this is
that's the newspaper journo and the headline writer in him.
That's right.
It comes out straight away.
And so we automatically assume, right, what is this going to be? So just to give you the time frame, it's going to be 11 a.m. October 31 that's Sydney time, daylight savings time, and
We've never had an event at that time of day.
5 p.m. in Pacific time. So normally for us, it's if we're not there, get up at 3 a.m. to cover this thing. But it's at the very friendly time, local time of 5 p.m., which is 11 a.m. our time, sleep in.
Big fan.
And again, the speculation immediately started, including from myself.
Of course.
And from the get-go. So scary, fast. So scary, we know it's day before Halloween. Fast, well, let's just assume that's new chips and new products.
Yep.
But the dead giveaway, if you go to the Apple site, and there is a small section of the Apple homepage where is the Apple event section.
Yep.
If you click on that and make it full screen, so click on that, you'll see the Apple symbol. Did you do this?
The one that's in the invite, yes.
Yeah, so this glowing Apple symbol morphs into the Finder symbol. Now, anyone who uses a Mac, a Finder is kind of the central station of your Mac. It's sort of the main menu section where you can find everything else.
It's an image, smiley face with a nose and 2 dots that dates back to the original little Macs.
So 1984.
I think they used to call it the Happy Mac symbol, so that it kind of was there at boot up saying we're all good. It's a way of saying your computer's good to go.
So that to me says it's a Mac event. And we, I think, had a discussion a few weeks ago about the iMac. Remember the 24-inch iMac? You know when they released that?
21.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 21.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was April 2021, and that had the M1 chip in it. Remember they were all the colourful iMacs?
Yep.
So what I suspect, 2 things, or 3 things. Number one, new 24-inch iMacs, probably with M2 chips in them. But the big rumor has been...
Let me stop you there. The problem with that... So it feels like a guarantee, right?
Yeah.
That needs an update, M2 chip.
Yep.
But that doesn't help with the scary fast part of the invite, which leads you...
The scary fast part, I reckon, means there's going to be an M3 chip announced, which is due. Right? M2 was like a year ago, wasn't it? So M3, I reckon, could be in one of 2 products. The most obvious would be MacBook Pro. So MacBook Pro 13-inch, 14-inch, 16-inch.
They wouldn't do all 3 of them.
You don't reckon?
No, I reckon because...
Maybe the big ones, 14, 16, or maybe just start with the 16.
Yes.
Who knows? But I reckon the other massive rumour that's been doing the rounds is the super iMac, the big, potentially 30 or 32-inch iMac that if you have that, you're going to put an M3 chip in that for sure.
Because one of the most iconic Macs of modern times is the iMac.
Absolutely.
Not the current one, the one before it with the
silver
thin
one.
edge but the bulbous back. It was a 27-inch. I had like 4 generations of them over
Love
the time.
It, me too.
Beautiful device, 27-inch.
Yep.
The current iMacs are 24-inch.
Yeah.
So it's like, hang on a minute, shouldn't there be a 27
remember
or more?
There was a 21.5 and a 27, and they brought it to a 24.
Yeah, so it's like, hang on a minute, what's doing here? And because of what they're able to do with screen technology now, it's like, hang on a minute, you could do 27 or more and still not make it a massive device.
So the studio monitor that Apple has, that's 27 inch, isn't it?
Yes.
27.
Yeah.
So
I think any bigger than that is a bit big.
If
for
you
Apple.
wanted a bigger screen with a Mac than 24 inches, you'd have to get a Mac Studio
or a Mac Mini
or a Mac Mini and put it to 27 inch, right? But if you're a Mac user,
or you just buy a bloody big Samsung curved monitor like I've got.
I'll tell you what I've got. I've got the Mac Studio at home. I used to have 27 inch iMac with another monitor. So I've now got a Mac Studio with 2 43-inch monitors, Samsung monitors.
Yeah.
So there's a gap in them. If you're an Apple user, a Mac user, there's a gap there where Apple haven't got a display bigger than 27 inches.
Yeah.
So if you want to go big with an iMac, and you think about how the usage of an iMac. I use my iMac to do my work, but also to watch stuff on. I watch Netflix on my iMac, right?
Which is insane because in the same room
there.
he's got I think you've got 2 TVs on the wall.
I do, but it's just that's just me. But if you've got a 32 inch,
3 TVs on the wall over there, 1 TV there, 1
there
TV
you
here.
go. Yeah. You've got 15 in here. That's all good. But if there was a wish list, 32-inch iMac, M3, take my money right now.
Yeah.
Would you buy that? A 32-inch iMac?
30's big.
30, even a 30, I'd go.
I wonder if they would go to more of an ultra-wide 30. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you mean
so the 27 studio monitor
it's like 16 by 9.
Big monitor.
Yeah.
But if you go like this, right, so it's 32, but it's a wider screen.
Okay.
Man, that'd be interesting.
I could dig that.
And, I guess they don't want to play to the pro area with this Mac because that's for the studio and the studio display and stuff like that.
You think about an average. You got your Mac Studio and the Mac Pro. They've still got the Mac Pro. So that's your mega user, right?
Yeah.
You're editing major motion pictures and rendering graphics and high end stuff. But there's still a gap there, like a customer who doesn't want all those bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Their only other option is a Mac Mini and its BYO monitor or the 24-inch iMac, which is okay. It's enough for most, but not enough for some. So I reckon there's a real gap in their portfolio. If they had a 30-inch or 32-inch iMac with M3, that would absolutely be huge.
Yeah.
Literally huge.
I just want to give a massive shout out to the people at Apple. Not only is this a daytime event for us, but Tuesday's the busiest day of my week. And all my radio, my last morning one is at 10:45. And I normally then at 11 o'clock I start doing calls for EFTM. So I spend an hour doing that.
Yep.
So this is it's fine.
It's in your window.
Actually, no, I've got a bloody interview schedule. Anyway, I have to change that. But it's a pretty good time for us. It's really interesting. What do you think's behind the timing?
I think probably more to get. It's obviously going to be a major product because all markets are going to want to see this at the same time, right? So you think about it, they have it at
but every product's a major product.
Prime time. Well, I don't know. Prime time in the US, like in Cupertino, like 5 p.m. It's like that's when all the news is running. I reckon
it's not going to get them news because that's too late for news to turn around.
No, but I mean, if there's like live when they have their live broadcast. So here, Apple have just announced this. Let's have a look, and it's happening. Like running story on it.
But it's also like 8 o'clock in New York.
8 p.m. Well, that's prime time, isn't it? That's
prime time. They're not going to interrupt a prime time TV show with an Apple event.
I don't know. Maybe they did it for Australia. They said, you know
I
what?
respect that.
Those Aussies, they're great Apple customers. Let's give them a sleep in. Let's have it at 11 a.m.
So pumped. Although Tuesdays I get up at 3 a.m. So
you do that anyway.
Honestly, seriously.
Wow.
If it had been
okay. What's your earliest interview on a Tuesday?
4:20.
Wowee.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Like to get started,
Yeah. And then then they follow every
Yeah.
20 minutes after that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. And that's your usual Tuesday, isn't it?
That's
so
every
that's why
Tuesday.
whenever there's something Tuesday morning, Trev's out
Oh, yeah.
because he's on the radio.
Yeah, I can't be bothered
Yeah.
going. I can't be
Yeah,
bothered
the latest
upsetting
on
and
a
changing
weekday,
people. Yeah.
latest on a weekday on my radio is that I'll be done by 9,
Yeah.
from 7:30 to 9. I'm
But
good.
remember, I only do one day.
Yeah.
I don't do
Oh,
radio
so you
on
don't
any
do
other
any
day.
other? Really?
No, I make them all do Tuesday.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I spread mine. I spread my wings. I spread.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to worry about other. Like that's it. Boom, done.
No, but mine's every morning. I've got the different stations. So you rather than me spread them out over the week, you just go into
Yep.
one day.
I go. You got a 10-minute window between 7:40. If I'm not off by 7:50, I'm
It's
going to go to
that
the next one.
or ring Stephen Fennick. He'll talk to you.
That happens.
Is that right? Yeah. I said, oh, look, Trev brushed us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. I get a call. Are you like? I know you're going away or something, right? Trev's going he's going to his mum's house with his kids, and then I get a message from 6PR. Do you reckon you can? Are you available 6 o'clock on Tuesday or whatever time Tuesday?
4:30,
And
yeah.
I think Trev's away again. And I go, no, I'm busy.
Yeah. Well,
Which I was last time.
yeah. You got to be careful. We don't want anyone else getting in on the game.
Hello. No, we cover each other. Don't worry.
Secret of our
And vice
success is
versa,
making sure that no one else chimes in.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, what were we talking about? Oh, the Apple event. So full
Yes.
details of the Apple event are at techguide.com.au and EFTM.com. But something else we should just quickly touch on is, by the time you listen to this, Double Tap is available. Now, I've been using the developer version of Double Tap for a while now, and I've got to tell you, I use the watch a million times more than I ever did.
Yeah.
Right? It's so good. So this widget screen that you now have,
Yeah,
so I
this-
use the Peanuts
it's called
watch
the
face.
Smart Stack.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I use the Peanuts watch. There's nothing on it. There's nothing other than bloody Snoopy, right?
Yep.
So I just double tap and I immediately get whatever the
Weather.
Smart Stack suggests.
Yep.
Whether I go through my calendar, whatever you like. Now, it's really fascinating. So I sat down with a couple of Apple execs this week and talked about it, and they were trying to play up how difficult this was to build.
Yeah.
Now, got to be real. It's existed for some time as an accessibility feature. Right, you've been able to you can turn it on your current
Yeah,
Apple
yeah,
Watch
yeah.
because this
I remember
double
that,
tap
yeah.
only works on Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2, which were
'cause
announced last month.
It needs a system on a chip, the new chip.
Because what they've done is they've gone the sensors, they've worked out how the sensors work, and what they worked out was when you do things with your wrist and your fingers, the heart rate monitor is getting different readings, and so they're able to basically understand what readings meant what.
Yeah, wow.
Now, the accessibility thing has existed for some time, but this is vastly more accurate. And it's also, so if I'm looking at the watch and I just tap gently, it doesn't work every time.
Right.
You've got to really make an intentional tap to do it. But mate, here's the thing: send me an SMS message, send me an iMessage, right? So what they did, and this was explained to me, this is sure they work out how to do it, but then they have to work out what the default response is for every action on the watch. So Stephen's going to send me a message, and it'll come.
Is the message going to be read out?
No, it's not.
Because it's a bit rude what I'm saying here. All right.
I
here we
can
go.
imagine it is.
Here we go. Go on.
So you'll see, hopefully, the message broadly appear here, and then I'll. So there it is, right? So I'll turn now, double tap, and it immediately goes into dictation mode. So I'm just dictating my response. Great, thanks very much. So are you, and I'll get you back when we're not recording. Double tap, sent. Okay. So what it does. No, don't show that.
Immediately goes into dictation mode, so I'm just dictating my response. Great, thanks very much. So are you, and I'll get you back when we're not recording double tap.
Yeah.
And did you say double tap?
Yeah,
or
I
did
said the word double
okay,
tap. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So what?
For the record, I said you are a dickhead. That's what
wow.
I said. I'm sorry.
That's harsh. I get banned off TikTok for that.
That's what I said. Yeah.
The thing is, that's
Yeah.
I got to be honest. That's brilliant. So the examples that they gave me were things like they notice people are responding to messages with their nose because they've got their hands full of something else. So
Yes.
if I'm
I've done
carrying
that.
carrying my laptop like this and a message comes through, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So you've got to wait until something happens. You could be walking ziggy zaggy and they're doing the walking,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So there's a message I can't respond. You can take a call, you can respond to a message, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're cooking, you're doing stuff. You can dismiss a timer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And mate, I'm honest with you. I use the watch way more now.
I remember when we saw this at the iPhone launch, right, on that day. I did a little video, as you did. I videoed the whole process. I answered a call. I went through all the Smart Stack and all that. And in my commentary, in my stories and everything, all the interviews I did on TV and the radio, I said this is probably one of the biggest features that you will now use on Apple Watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be so useful for all the ways you describe, where say you've got 2 shopping bags, or you've got walking the dogs or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think great.
You know Eric from the Apple Watch team.
Yep.
He was one of the people I was talking to, and I think he said to me, you're cooking a chicken parma or something. You got egg on your hands or whatever.
Dirty hands. Yeah.
And what normally happens is you go, I got a message. Oh, what am I going to do? I got to think. So you think about something. You go, what am I going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But now you just take that thought away and you just go double tap, done, and you just into it. So it's not about saving time. It's just about the
convenience. It's convenience.
The convenience of it, man. It's wild.
It makes it easier to do things, which is the whole goal.
I'm going to make a big call because it's weird that the Watch 2, the Ultra 2 and the Watch Series 9 are not that vastly different to the previous generation.
Yeah.
Frankly, other than the system on a chip or SIP and this feature, it's worthwhile. Now, it's not worthwhile
to upgrade
getting rid of your 8 for a 9 unless you're desperately passionate about it.
Right.
But if you got a 4, 5, 6, 7, man,
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think if you this is a feature I reckon that's a game changer for an Apple Watch, and I think a matter of time before imitated by other brands. You reckon there'll be other things that other brands do, or
I don't know. I don't know that other brands are that nimble, are they?
I'm not sure.
We'll soon find out.
Samsung, they know a thing or two.
So Watch 10.1 is what you need, and you know the deal. If you've got an Apple Watch, you've got to have your watch charging.
It's got to be at least 50%.
Pretty much going to come out tonight for you. But,
charge it, and make
sure
do the
update.
Put it on the charger, then do the update.
Right.
So it's not here yet, but by the time you watch this, it'll be
and a little demo of all that at EFTM.com.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick.
I apologise. I played the same sting.
Uh-oh.
It's my own fault for putting it down here. I lost track.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just noticed I got my Diet Coke down here.
Well done.
I'm going to have a sip.
Stephen, 10 years and a few months ago, Vodafone launched $5 a day global roaming. It was the best junket I've ever been on. I went to New Zealand. They gave me gold virgin status for 3 months. And from that point, I was able to get to where I am today.
Cash for comment.
With
What's
platinum
going on
status.
Here? Hey, what happened there?
But anyway, we did so much stuff. I remember getting in a jet boat with the then CEO Bill Morrow.
Yeah.
We went skeet shooting. It was wild because their idea was they wanted to show what an adventure holiday would be, where you'd want to post photos and all that kind of stuff, and you can't do that unless you're roaming. And roaming was back then we'd do a current affairs stories of $10,000 roaming bills and all this kind of stuff.
Bill shock. That's how the coin.
That's all
term
gone.
was coined.
Right, that's all gone now because every company has some form of roaming. The big ones, as well as like Hogan, Boost, a few others.
They've got roaming packs.
They have roaming packs. Boost is around $3 a day. The inclusions are strict, but I still think Vodafone's the best roaming package because it's your own normal inclusions.
And use as much as use your data like you're at home.
$5.
Yeah.
Use your phone like you're at home.
The Two Blokes are Vodafone customers for that very reason.
Yeah. We go to America and I can ring you on your phone. I can ring someone on an American phone and it just counts as one of my calls. It's just an unlimited call.
I did have dramas though that I'll talk about later with my roaming.
Yeah, but
they had dramas.
There's been some issues in America with the networks AT&T and T-Mobile and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so today they have announced in-flight roaming.
What?
So find the list of airlines.
So in-flight?
It includes Emirates, Cathay, Etihad, Lufthansa, Malaysian and Singapore. And I've seen this in planes where they go, you can use your phone, just turn off airplane mode. And I'm like, what's that? So this is what this is. So let's say I get on an Etihad flight. I'm going to Abu Dhabi. We get to 30,000 feet. What I do today is I open up my phone, I turn on Wi-Fi, I find the Etihad network, I click on it, it brings up a web page, it tells me it's going to be $60 for the Wi-Fi all the way to Europe. I go, yes, because I want to be connected, and I pay $60, maybe $30. To America, it might be $20 or $30, whatever, right? So, and I get Wi-Fi and I get data. On Etihad, as a Vodafone customer, I'll open up my phone when the seatbelt sign comes off, I'll turn off airplane mode. It will
turn off airplane mode.
Turn off airplane mode. So like I've landed.
Yeah.
Search for a network, and it will connect to a network. I can make calls. I can receive texts, and I can use data.
Make calls.
Well, please don't make calls. Okay,
Yeah.
please don't.
That's be disturbing on a plane, wouldn't it?
But legitimately, you can. In an emergency, you could.
Yeah.
Right. But the critical thing is data. Now they actually say in this release, they say the data. The service is simple to use and delivers download and upload speeds similar to 3G, which is pretty much all in-flight Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Pretty much all in-flight Wi-Fi is...
So you're not going to be streaming Netflix or anything?
No.
You're going to be able to use your own data rather than paying for the... So say we're travelling United.
Yep.
So instead of, we normally pay for the in-flight Wi-Fi. So in this instance, you're using a network instead of the plane's Wi-Fi for your own data, basically.
Which is essentially the same thing, right? So
and
what
is
happens
that $5 a day as well?
That's the big kicker, right? It's $5.
$5. Wow.
Now, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to dig this up. What happens if I'm on Malaysia and I fly to Malaysia? So I'm in Australia, I fly to Malaysia, 8 hours. I'm in Malaysia, I land. Do I pay $5 for the flight and then $5 on the ground in Malaysia? Nope. It's $5 per calendar day, no matter where you are. And they explained it to me because I didn't realise this. But if you're in England and then you go to France and then you go to Spain in the same day by driving or on a train or something, you only pay $5.
$5. Yeah, that's right.
So it's the same on the plane.
Wow.
$5.
That's pretty cool.
To get in-flight data.
And so
that's wild.
So I understand Vodafone were able to do this roaming package because they've got partners in Europe and America and all around the place. So how is it that they can do this as in the air as well? Are those same partnerships? It's all satellite, isn't it? Is it satellite connection? Or
what it is it's the provider of the in-flight Wi-Fi, because really it's still just using the in-flight Wi-Fi, but it's got another device in there that allows you to connect using the cellular service. It's probably still routing it through the Wi-Fi. I don't know, haven't tested it. But it's fascinating to me that essentially it's a company, I'm pretty sure it's called Aero Mobile. They're the company that do the kind of ground network, and so it uses the aircraft's satellite and the Aero Mobile ground network, and it all comes together to make this work. Mate, it's unbelievable.
Right there in your seat. You can access the network.
Now, if you say 3G speeds are bad, if you've never tried in-flight Wi-Fi, it's not amazing. It's never been good.
Have you? I've found I've flown United a lot lately. Their in-flight Wi-Fi is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's excellent.
And good enough.
But I would say it's 3G speed.
You reckon?
Yes.
So it's good enough to look at Instagram.
Yes.
Good enough to look at TikTok.
Yes.
As well. So if you can do that.
I'm surprised. I thought I tried it and it didn't work on United.
I was scrolling TikTok on United Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that would ruin my flights if I could do that.
Mate, it kills the time.
For me,
kills the time.
So the thing is, Vodafone used to have this standout plan, $5 a day, and then everyone else came up with their own, which is similar, right?
Yep.
For me, this puts them again head above everyone else.
Yeah.
And for travellers, that's a big deal. You're going to Europe, it means that you can communicate with your family every flight you make if you choose the right airlines, because that's the big kicker here is you've got to be on the right airline. That's really what matters.
And so what are they? Emirates is one. What was
Emirates is one. Etihad, Cathay Pacific, Lufthansa, Malaysia, and Singapore. So let's be real. You're not going to get it going to America.
Big airlines, though.
None of them go to America. Think about it. None of those
go
are
to
America.
Asia and Europe. Yeah,
it's Asia and Europe, right?
Yep.
But like I normally fly Etihad or Qatar. I'm going to choose Etihad now. Like that's
really
for these. Mate, because
and
I would
Emirates is one or not? Did you say
Emirates is one? So you could choose.
I'm traveling
Emirates.
to Europe next year with Joe with Emirates.
So boom, you're done.
Yeah.
And it's a big saving, mate. I've definitely spent Etihad put their prices up, so it's more
it's like $35
usage based, and that's
so.
only for a limited amount of data as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
mate, it's a big deal.
Wow,
pretty impressive stuff.
That's pretty cool.
So Vodafone in-flight roaming. $5 a day, launching today, and all the details are at EFTM.com.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick.
Netgear are ahead of the pack. They've got all the Wi-Fi you need, including Wi-Fi 7. They've got the router we talked about last week coming, the Nighthawk Wi-Fi 7. This is the RS700 Wi-Fi 7 router. Speeds up to 19 gigabits throughout the home. This is their most advanced Wi-Fi router ever. It's a phenomenal looking device. And look, that is something for genuine future-proofing in network, and I've got no doubt there'll be many more Wi-Fi 7 products to come. But the great thing about Netgear is they've got a product for everyone. They've got a product for every style of home. They've got a product for every style of use. So if you're big on streaming in multiple rooms in the home, they've got you covered. You know, in our house, we genuinely will have streaming happening in my office, in the lounge room, in the dining room, and probably the kids on their devices. So we are streaming big time, which is why we have the Orbi 960 series. Robust, strong Wi-Fi 6E. So for those devices that have that 6E, and so your very latest Samsungs, the iPhone 15 has 6E now, doesn't it? It doesn't show up as a logo though, but it's there.
Yep.
It means that not only do you get better speed, but you get preferential treatment on the network. You've got your own lane on the highway. Yeah. It's a game changer for modern devices.
Business class for your network.
Boom.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi 6E. All those solutions, all the details about Wi-Fi 6E, as well as the new Wi-Fi 7 product, available now at netgear.com.au.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Oh, I'm exhausted. So much talking.
Wow.
Stephen, Aussie Broadband sent me an email saying, hey, Trev,
me too.
Prices are changing.
How often does that happen?
Oh, are you kidding me? Prices are changing. Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, Two Blokes doing very well. We've both got 1,000 megabit per second internet at home. And
Gigabit,
that's not
baby.
bragging. That's because that's our job. We've got to be connected. It is the thing. I get that a lot of people still have 25 and 50 and that a lot of people only have the choice of 25 and 50.
Plus, I couldn't let Trevor have a faster internet connection than me.
Pretty much why he upgraded. And if 2,000 becomes available,
Bang.
sign
I'm
me
in
up.
there, baby.
So they announced this new pricing and I go, oh, that's good. But then I dig into what everyone's pricing changes is.
Yeah.
So my plan goes from $149 down
129.
to $129, a $20 a month saving.
That's solid.
However, on the lower plans, the 12, the 25, the 50, and I didn't even know there was a 75, but the 75 as well.
Yep.
The prices are going up by $6 at Aussie Broadband.
I thought at Aussie Broadband. I thought they were
Telstra's
capped. I thought it was capped at $55.
What are you talking about?
I thought there was a cap on them.
No, that's the
regardless
wholesale
of the data.
pricing.
Ah,
Yeah, so you're reading about the NBN wholesale pricing. So what happens here, and we have to dig a little bit backwards here, but the NBN is like a decade old, isn't it, right? So
More than
they've
that.
been around for a while. And the
Yeah.
pricing structure has pretty much always been the same, other than to introduce some new speed tiers and plans, right?
Yep.
The telcos have always had issues with the way it's charged. Now, you can read all this at EFTM, but I did a thing. I'll read this this simple statement here. For better or worse, it's all because of the NBN's SAU with the ACCC relating to their WBA, how they use their CVC in each CSA across each of the AVCs in each POI. Honestly, could they have more acronyms at the NBN, for Christ's sake? But the bottom line is, for some accounts, they charge you for an amount of capacity no matter whether you use it or not.
bandwidth.
On others, they restrict the amount that's available because they know that you're not going to use it. It's a broad simplification. Aussie Broadband and others argued that it should be done the same way for all. The NBN did not agree.
Yeah.
And the lower speed plans, now essentially, think of it this way, the wholesale plan has a cap. So the wholesale plan has a limit to the amount of data. But that means that the retailer either needs to limit the amount of data, and they're probably offering unlimited, or they need to adjust their pricing, and that's going to mean the prices go up. So for the people on the 12, 50, 25 and 75, the price goes up by a couple of dollars. 75 stays the same. For everyone else, it goes down. I looked at Telstra. Their prices have all gone up by $5. And I've got to be honest with you. If you're with Telstra on the NBN, it's time to change. Now, I'm not suggesting Aussie Broadband is the only option because there's probably plenty more and it's a good time to look around. But, mate, their 50 meg plan is something like $100. For that,
129 is Aussie Broadband's gigabit per second plan now.
for $100, you save money. You pay $95 for the 100 plan at Aussie Broadband. So you've got to look around, folks.
I think, absolutely. It's time to shop. And I think the reason why the 100 megabits per second and above plans are cheap because of the CVCA, the bandwidth charges have been removed. And Aussie Broadband was the first mover on that. They I think it wasn't until from December 1 is when they're going to get rid of that charge.
Yep.
But they got in early and said, from November
1.
You're going to have a cheaper plan. I went, oh, that's nice to hear.
I'd be looking now for any deals. I'd be looking for 1 month sign up deals, 2 months free, whatever, because if these price changes are hitting your hip pocket, then you genuinely have to take seriously the fact that the great thing about the NBN, it's like the mobile network.
Yeah.
You can port.
You're not locked in.
You can ring. So if you're a Telstra customer today, you could ring Aussie Broadband today and say, I want to change.
I did it.
And in about half an hour, it just changes.
I changed from Optus to Aussie Broadband. I reckon it took about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was done.
Now, if you're worried about the gear you have at home and all that stuff, it doesn't matter.
They'll send you another modem, don't worry.
Yeah,
you
don't need a new modem.
as well.
You don't need a new modem because your modem's already connected to the NBN.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually the back end of the NBN that switches you from one telco to another.
Oh, so the modem is, you can keep your existing modem, is that right?
If you've got a modem.
Won't your telco want to send you a new modem?
No, because they'll probably charge you $150 for that. Why would you pay for a new modem when you've already got one?
Okay.
If you're already on the NBN.
Will they all work with it? Say I've gone from Optus. I had to change from my Optus modem to the Aussie Broadband
I don't think you
modem.
had to, mate.
Well, what I did, first of all, I never had a modem. Remember, Aussie Broadband were going to send me one, and I just connected the Netgear Orbi to the
That's all I have.
To
I don't
the
have a modem.
fiber to the fiber box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only people that need a modem are people with copper. So if you've got fibre to the curb, sorry, fibre to the node.
Right.
Fibre to the curb as well? No.
Yeah, fibre to the curbs, they're still there.
Yeah. So they're the people that need a modem.
Because from the curb to the house is copper.
If there's an NBN physical box in your house, like a little black box.
So you just use the Orbi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need a modem. You just need Wi-Fi. You just need a router because if you've got the NBN box in your home, they call it NTD, the network termination device. You can just plug a laptop into it and it just works.
Yep.
You're just on the internet. It's just like any other network. The NBN is just a big LAN. It's just a big network.
Yeah.
And the one of the ports is at your house. That's all.
Yeah. That's
so
a very simple explanation.
Shop around is the critical thing.
I reckon that's what my takeaway from this is that, and don't forget that the NBN had to have this proposal approved by the ACCC.
Yeah.
So the ACCC was sort of on their case to say, mate, let's have a look at this.
Yeah.
And what my takeaway is that it's now become, it's the environment for finding a better deal is better than ever. It's never been better because they're going to compete a little bit better now.
Yeah. The NBN rang me after I'd done 90% of my radio interviews and said, have you got our statement? I went, no. Thanks very much for sending that through now that I've already said everything I'm going to say. But basically their excuse for this is our prices have never changed. We've never had inflation. Prices have never gone up. Our business costs are higher. It just has to go up. And here's the kicker. The price is going to keep going up. We're going to get CPI increases every year. So that's the other thing that's been approved is CPI increases.
So consumer price index.
Yeah, so every June or July,
that's inflation.
It's inflation.
Right.
You're going to get an increase because you know how Telstra and Optus are putting up their prices every year now by $3 here, $3 there.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen to your NBN plans as well. I'm sorry to say, folks.
Another little thing that the NBN sort of agreed to was to limit the amount of money because obviously this is a government asset, right? So they're trying to recoup the investment. Yep. And what they said is they agreed to limit the proportion of money it's going to be recouping from the network. So they're going to maybe put that on hold for a couple of years so that they can then offer those lower wholesale prices for longer.
Yeah. Here's what I think. I think this is a massive fail by the government. This is a government arm. There's an arm of the government.
Yeah.
It's a separate business, but they are responsible to the government.
Yeah.
We're in a cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
The people most affected by this are the people most affected by the cost of living prices. Mate, if my price had gone up by $10, I would have just gone, I'm going to keep paying it.
Yeah.
But there's people that have prices have gone up by $5 and they're going, hang on a minute, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
Now, the government could have easily said, the Minister for Communications could have said to the ACCC, who's another government arm, and the NBN, listen, love what you've agreed to, put it on hold for 2 years. Yeah. Just sorry, but put it on hold for 2 years, and they've just got to send a memo to the NBN.
It has been on hold for 2 years.
No, but
it's taken 2 years to get through.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The problem is this is the worst time. Let's not get into economics, but if inflation is our problem today, and we're waiting for inflation to go down, they've just put the prices up.
Yeah.
So inflation's going to go up,
yeah.
and this is every household whose prices are going to be affected, and that means more pressure on interest rates. It just makes no sense to me that the Albanese government didn't say, listen, I know you've been working on this for 3 years, telcos and NBN, but I, as the Prime Minister, I, as the Communications Minister, am happy for the NBN to operate at a loss for the next 3 years, as long as it's not more than $1 billion or some bloody thing, and just go, you know what, and then we're back when the economy's stable again.
Isn't that what they kind of said though?
Yes, but the prices still went up.
Yeah, well, but the prices. What I'm saying is that the prices could have gone up more because they've agreed not to recoup their investment. So the prices could have been. This could have been worse.
It doesn't matter. It's still bad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
That's like 10% price increase.
Yeah.
If inflation at 7% is bad, and your NBN is going up by 10% on. By the way. Phil Britt from Aussie Broadband, who's very vocal and always open about these things, he said in his statement about this, he said the 50 megabit plan for the overall market, not for Aussie Broadband, is 45% of the market. Now, for Aussie Broadband, I think it's much less because I think they have got a much bigger portion of their users at 100 plus.
Yep.
But if the overall market has 45% of users on the 50 meg plan, then that's 45% of the population. And I would guess 50% or more, because of the 25, have a price increase. 50% of Australian homes have just got a price increase on their NBN. How are we trying to stop inflation?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
They can put the same argument to energy prices and all these other things that they're trying to restrain, and they're not. They can't do it.
But the government doesn't run the energy companies.
True. Yeah,
See, that's the difference.
Yeah.
The government sold off all that stuff. They still own this.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me this: would you think this is going to potentially drive customers to 5G? Rather than the NBN.
Well, here's the problem. The telcos will love that because the telcos make more money off 5G.
That's what I was going to say. See, the telcos, and we've said this before, the telcos like Telstra and Optus, definitely, even Vodafone, they'd much rather you be their 5G home broadband customer than an NBN customer because they get 100% of your money. If they're 5G or a 5G customer.
That's exactly what they want.
If you're an NBN customer, you're only going to get a portion of that. So is this going to play right into their hands for that?
Mate, It will. It's what they'll market. They'll market this that way. I
Like,
just
are
want
the 5G plans competitive like this? Or?
So Telstra's 5G plan is like $85 a month.
Right. And that's pretty fast too.
Pretty
You're
good,
talking
right?
a couple of hundred megabits per second, aren't we?
Yeah.
At the minimum.
Let me though, just to wrap this up, let me do a Telstra v Aussie broadband comparison.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, put down Telstra because they're a great network and they have good support and all that stuff.
Should I get Optus's figures up
You
here
bring
too
up
then?
Optus, I've got Telstra and Aussie broadband,
We're talking
right?
NBN.
NBN plan prices, right? Now, they all call them different things, but in the end, they have to resort them back to the NBN names, which is 25, 50,
NBN home internet.
100,
Yep. Okay.
and 250, right?
Yep.
So Telstra's basic, which is NBN 25,
Yep.
25 megabit speed, is $80 a month.
Optus, $70 a month.
Aussie broadband, 75.
Right, at 25 megabits per
25
second.
megabits per second.
Okay, let's move up to 50.
$95 for Telstra.
$85 for Optus.
85 for Aussie broadband.
Okay.
$10 a month saving.
How about 100?
$110 a month.
Telstra,
Telstra,
$89 Optus.
95 Aussie broadband.
Wow. So Aussie broadband's more expensive than Telstra and Optus.
What's Optus's price?
For 100 megabits
Yeah.
per second, $89.
That's pretty is that hang on, is that the new pricing?
That's an intro offer.
No, yeah, but hey, we need the new pricing. Because Aussie broadband used to be 99 and now it's 95.
Okay, well,
it's
they
come down.
They haven't told me that yet.
So
So 240.
in
Right?
fact, hang on a minute. The Telstra plans I'm reading out are also the lower one because they put it on a different page. Telstra.
You think they would have updated this already, wouldn't you?
But if the plans
Great
don't kick
podcasting,
in, if
us
the
looking
plans
up
don't
stuff.
kick in until December, they might not.
Yeah, maybe.
Telstra NBN price changes. Price change for internet and home broadband. Okay, let me.
Okay, here's Optus, right? Optus, the 100 is $89, 240 is $99, 600, 129.
Which is their 1,000 meg plan.
129. So
Yeah,
that's
so that's the same as Aussie broadband.
Aussie broadband now.
So Telstra's
Good
basic.
luck getting it connected though.
So Telstra's basic, which is the 25, is now 85.
Yeah.
The essential, maybe they are the same as the one I just read out. No, they're not. Essential is now 100. So the 50 meg plan is $100. That's
From Telstra.
$15
So it's gone
more
up.
than $15 more than Aussie broadband.
Wow.
So if your plan, I had a caller say my NBN's gone up to $100 a month. I went, oh, you must be on a good plan, and they go, no, I'm on 50 megabit. I went, that's
What?
outrageous.
Yeah.
It's $15 a month to have Telstra NBN than to have Aussie broadband.
Okay, get
That's wild.
the 5G plans up now.
5G.
yeah,
Stand by. It's going to take a moment to
5G
load
home
internet.
internet.
5G home internet. So I've got Telstra here, and they've only got one plan.
Optus got 3.
$85 a month for great speeds of 300 meg, whatever. Is there a limit to usage? 1,000 gigabits of data. So pretty good.
Well, Optus, $69, maximum speed 50 megabits per second.
Right, that's our entry plan. Yep.
$79, maximum 100 megabits per second.
Right.
$89, uncapped speed, and includes Netflix and Optus Sport.
Nice.
$89, unlimited, uncapped speed.
Vodafone, $65 intro plan, normally $70. 100 megabit speed. Doesn't appear to have a data limit.
This is it's almost like a conspiracy that
That's what they want you to have.
Optus and Telstra are building up their 5G base, right? So
Yes.
their 5G coverage is improving. Vodafone too.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the NBN is going up and up and up, and in most cases can't match the speed of, if you're in a good 5G network area,
Yep.
can't match the speed of that.
No.
So
And your brother's got 5G. We
my
know
brother's
it works.
got 5G in Maroubra, and he's getting 300 megabits per second, not a problem, sometimes more.
Yeah.
And paying under $100 a month.
It's not a conspiracy, but it is. It's
Well,
disappointing
This
that
was always going to happen.
it was always going to happen. Yeah.
It's I remember writing a column for the Daily Telegraph 20 years ago, whatever that was, saying by the time the NBN's ready, right, there's going to be wireless connectivity that's going to be faster and that was 5G.
Yeah.
And now the 5G is getting faster. So, this is playing into the telco's hands.
And
you know what? Imagine this, right? So let's take Telstra as the example.
Yeah.
They've put up their plans by $10. Did you say $10?
$5 each one went up. Yeah.
Okay. So they would then, that customer.
In their defence, they went up less than Aussie broadband.
Okay.
Aussie went up $6.
All right. But Telstra has an option. You don't reckon they'd be saying, "Oh, here are your options"?
Yeah, they'll ring up and say, "Listen, for $5
5G.
less,
Yeah.
you can get faster speeds."
Yeah.
Who's not going to sign up for faster speeds?
And that
Same
way,
price.
Telstra get 100% of your cash instead of giving half back to the NBN.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I reckon when I had my dramas with Optus and it was NBN dramas, I reckon they thought, "Who cares? It's NBN.
Yeah.
It's not. If it was 5G, they'd be all over it."
Yeah.
But I reckon it was like collateral damage. Okay, it's NBN. Don't worry about it. That's why I reckon there was not that effort to keep me as a customer because they're going to give half that money away anyway. And I was trying to move up to a faster speed. So yeah,
I just wish that we didn't have it. I wish people who can least afford this utility, because internet, water, electricity, gas,
it's essential.
these are essential to your home in most cases.
Yeah.
And now we're putting the price up, and it's, as you said, they can't control energy prices. They can't control internet prices.
Yeah.
They can control internet
this.
prices.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with what you said before. Like Albo should have said, mate, let's just take a loss for 2 years. Let's calm the farm a bit. Let's try get inflation under control. Keep everyone connected. And they did that during the pandemic, right? So it worked a treat during the pandemic, right? And that might have brought prices, might have brought a bit of inflation down. Should we run the country or what? Should we be running the show? Let's just run the show.
What else would you do?
Do we? Hey, I would make my birthday a public holiday. So February 17 every year, public holiday. I'd make what would we do? South Sydney playing.
I was going to say nuclear energy, but whatever.
No, nuclear too. I'd go nuclear.
Yeah,
I'd go nuclear.
I'd go nuclear on a few people. I'll tell you that right now.
That seems to be the where opposition leader Mr. Dutton is heading. He's very much a nuclear advocate.
He's unelectable, though.
Yeah, you don't reckon? You reckon? Why is that?
Unelectable.
Why is that? I reckon I've got to say, and here's this is not me being too political here. I reckon he's been a pretty good the voice against when he was explaining why about when the voice
100%.
dramas.
I do agree.
He did bring up some good points about
100%,
that,
yeah.
and I think he's underestimated by. I think the media, a lot of people consider him, like you just said, he's unelectable. But when you actually listen to him, he speaks logically. He really simplifies things very well, and that gets through to voters, mate.
I'm going to tell you this. This is a massive hook for the private feed. We're talking politics this week on the private feed, because that's what we're going to do.
Yeah,
100%.
Why not?
I've got views.
Yeah, we've all had views.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think give us a crack at it. We can't get any worse. Hey, how much worse can it get?
I mean, you could be real old and run America, so we got time left in us.
Yeah. You talking about Jay Biden? Didn't he stop a press conference halfway through the other day? What happened?
On the plane? The one on the plane?
No, I don't know. There was
he was on a
there was
plane.
footage of him being ushered away.
He was on a plane. Was it into a doorway?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on a plane. He comes out of his, Oval Office on the plane thing, and there's journos there, and he says, yeah, you can ask me some questions. They're asking questions. And then so one of them starts talking about Israel and stuff, and he goes, well, thanks for your time, and just, walks away.
Yeah. It was like that Homer Simpson meme where he goes back into the hedges.
Watch the Shane Gillis comedy special on Netflix. He talks about Joe Biden. Whenever he leaves a press conference, he turns into a Roomba. And just randomly walks places. It's a great line.
That's funny.
It's a legit great line.
It's on Netflix.
And it's a great comedy special because he does the best Donald Trump impersonation.
What's his name?
He has Shane Gillis. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
I'm looking that
I
up.
actually watched the special and went, it's all right.
Yeah.
I've seen more clips of it on TikTok. I'm going, these are good gags. They're good gags.
Okay, I'll watch that.
I'm here for you,
I find
folks.
I've been watching a lot of Ricky Gervais again.
Really?
Supernature and what was the other one called? The Humanity?
Humanity and Supernatural.
Yeah. I don't know. But his new one, he's still doing his tour of Armageddon, and that's already been sold to Netflix.
It needs to be better than the last one.
Well, by all accounts, it's all the feedback from the tour's been going for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like it's really good. Yeah.
I hope so, because the last one was exactly the same as the one before.
Well,
it was too much the same.
Different enough.
Two Blokes Talking Tech. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. Please recommend to your friends, because no one else knows.
Yeah.
Share this. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment down below. We'll have a look at
Trevor's
those.
got extensions to put on his house. Come on, we've got to help him out here.
We're just bathrooms. Actually, if we could get enough, I could do that extension. But anyway.
Yeah. And
Thanks.
you know what? Maybe a Merc, maybe something else. Who knows?
I'm
what
happy with
happens
my
in future.
Cooper, buddy.
No,
Oh,
I'm
good.
talking about myself.
Oh, you, all
I'm talking
right.
about me, not you.
Thanks, Arlo. Thank you, Netgear. Thank you for watching and
Thanks,
listening.
guys.
We'll be back next week. Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Everything about tech you never wanted to know. This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.